He's here. Everything was ready. The moment God had been waiting for was here at last. God was coming to help his people just as he promised in the beginning. But how would he come? What would he be like? What would he do? Mountains would have bowed down, seas would have roared, trees would have clapped their hands. But the earth held its breath. As silent as snow falling, he came in. And when no one was looking, in the darkness, he came.
Bow your head and close your eyes.
Loving Father, help us remember the birth of Jesus, that we may share the songs of the angels and the gladness of the worship of the wise.
Close the door of hate and open the door of love all over the world. Let kindness come with every giving and let good desire with every greed.
Deliver us from evil by the blessing which Christ brings and teach us to remember with clear hearts.
Let the Christmas morning make us happy and the Christmas evening bring us to our beds. With wonderful thoughts and forgiving and forgiveness, we all say, Amen.
There was a young girl who was engaged to a man named Joseph. Joseph was the great-great-great-great-great-grandson of King David. One morning, this girl was minding her own business when suddenly a great warrior of light appeared, right there in her bedroom. He was Gabriel, and he was an angel, a special messenger from heaven. When she saw the tall, shining man standing there, Mary was frightened. "You don't need to be scared," Gabriel said. "God is very happy with you." Mary looked around to see if perhaps he was talking to someone else. "Mary," Gabriel said, and he laughed with such gladness that Mary's eyes filled with sudden tears. "Mary, you're going to have a baby, a little boy. You will call him Jesus. He is God's own son. He's the one. He's the rescuer. The God who flung planets into space and kept them whirling around and around. The God who made the universe with just a word. The one who could do anything at all was making himself small and coming down as a baby.
Angels we have heard on high, sweetly singing o'er the plains, and the mountains
Mary and Joseph had to take a trip to Bethlehem, the town King David was from. But when they reached the little town, they found every room was full. Every bed was taken. "Go away," the innkeepers told them. "There isn't any place for you." Where would they stay? Soon Mary's baby would come. They couldn't find anywhere except an old, tumbled-down stable. So they stayed where the cows and the donkeys and the horses stayed. And there, in the stable, amongst the chickens and the donkeys and the cows, in the quiet of the night, God gave the world his wonderful gift. The baby that would change the world was born. His baby son. Mary and Joseph wrapped him up to keep him warm. They made a soft bed of straw and used the animal's feeding trough as his cradle. And they gazed in wonder at God's great gift, wrapped in swaddling clothes and lying in a manger. Mary and Joseph named him Jesus, Emmanuel, which means God has come to live with us, because, of course, he had. Far away in the east, 3 clever men saw the very same star, the star that God had put in the sky when Jesus was born. They knew it was a sign. A baby king had been born. They had been waiting for this star. They knew it would come. "He's here!" they shouted. "He's here!" And I'm sure if you'd been there, you would have heard them laughing and dancing and singing until the sun came up. At dawn, they packed up their camels and wrapped gifts for the baby. They brought their most precious treasures of all, frankincense, gold, and myrrh, special, sparkly, lovely, smelling, gleaming things, just right for a king.
Bye.
Where would you send your splendid choir? To a big concert hall, maybe? Or a palace, perhaps? Now, God sent his to a little hillside, outside a little town, in the middle of the night. He sent all those angels to sing for a raggedy old bunch of shepherds watching their sheep outside Bethlehem. In those days, remember, people used to laugh at shepherds and say they were smelly and call them other rude names which I can't possibly mention here. You see, people thought shepherds were nobodies, just scruffy old riffraff. But God must have thought shepherds were very important indeed, because they are the ones he chose to tell the good news to first. That night, some shepherds were out in the open fields, warming themselves by a campfire, when suddenly the sheep darted. They were frightened by something. The olive trees rustled. What was that? A wing beat? They turned round. Standing in front of them was a huge warrior of light, blazing in the darkness. "Don't be afraid of me," the bright shining man said. "I haven't come to hurt you. I've come to bring you happy news for everyone, everywhere. Today, in David's town, in Bethlehem, God's Son has been born. You can go and see him. He is sleeping in a manger." The shepherds stamped out their fire, left their sheep, raced down the grassy hill, through the gates of Bethlehem, down the narrow cobbled streets, through a courtyard, down some steps, past an inn, round a corner, through a hedge, until at last they reached a tumble-down stable. They tiptoed inside. They knelt on the dirt floor. They had heard about this promised child, and now he was here. Heaven's Son, the maker of the stars, a baby sleeping in his mother's arms. This baby would be like that bright star shining in the sky that night, a light to light up the whole world, chasing away darkness, helping people to see. And the darker the night got, the brighter the star would shine.
Ladies, attention! 5, 6, 7, 8.
Christmas all year long, 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 all year long. Turn the tea up, I ain't talking about leaving my tree up. Homie, speed up. Foundation of my salvation is what was done in 3, bruh. Without the birth, there wouldn't be a death. It would be cold, like seeing breath. Was a dark man like DMX, now I'm redeemed. See the bed. No, this don't sound like a Christmas song, cause I celebrate its meaning all year long. I ain't saying you can't do it up, do it up. If you celebrate Christmas without Christ, then what you doing, bruh? I may take my lights down, but I never take my light down. Rep 'em hard, every day, ain't no better time than right now. Right now, hit the gong. Let's get it on, I hope many more join me in celebrating Christmas all year long, 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 all year long. God sent his only begotten son for his rotten ones. On the cross he got it done, that whoever believes in him shall not pass away, but will have eternal life in heaven if he pass today. Christmas is deeper than toys and gifts. Too many people out here treating Christ like he don't exist, like he's a myth.